Today is just day one of 5 straight days that cars will be on the racetrack in Daytona. We got qualifying for the Daytona 500 tonight. Tomorrow we got the duels. Friday we got the truck. Saturday Xfinity, and Sunday the Daytona 500. But today's media day for the NASCAR Cup Series. They're having all the drivers are going into the media center, talking to the media and their little groups and stuff. But this morning, it was announced that there were 2 major contract extensions, Daniel Suarez and Alex Bowman, 2 of what would have been the biggest free agents near the summertime when it comes to that signing period. It's not like an official signing period, but it's basically when all the contracts get signed, when drivers leave or, want to go somewhere else, something like that. But both these guys have received contract extensions from the teams they are currently driving for. So that would mean Daniel Suarez with Trackhouse, of course, and Alex Bowman with Hendrick Motorsports. Let's look at the details. Let's start with Alex Bowman. Bowman has been with Hendrick Motorsports full-time since 2018. Of course, he helped sub for Dale Jr. when Dale Jr. had his concussion back in 2016. And I guess that's what sold Hendrick Motorsports. They decided to sign Bowman on, as I said, in 2018. He was in the 88 from 2018 to 2020. He still had the same team whatsoever, same crew chief, all that stuff. But then he switched to the 48, took the Ally sponsorship after Jimmy Johnson retired. And he's been in that car ever since, been in that number, that sponsorship. And so both him and Ally have actually extended with Hendrick Motorsports through an extended period. Bowman is signed through 2026, Ally through 2028. Ally also made a commitment to NASCAR, becoming like the official financial bank of NASCAR, I think. So Ally very invested, not just in Alex Bowman or Hendrick Motorsports, but all of NASCAR. They like something about it. It's somehow working for them, and they are fully on board, and they want to stay on board. But yes, Bowman being at Hendrick through 2026 means all the Hendrick Motorsports drivers are currently locked up through, I think it's at least 2025 or 2026. All of them have received contract extensions in the last year, I believe. I think Elliott's through 2028, Larson through 2026, Byron through 2025, and then obviously Bowman through 2026. That's a guess. But all 4 guys extended for at least a few more years, which is big for them. They have a fairly young lineup. They have a successful lineup. All these guys have won races. 2 of them have won championships. It's a solid lineup. It's a consistent lineup. I think I've talked about this in every single video when a Hendrick Motorsports driver gets extended. I talk about this, but this was not the case 5 or 6 years ago. That was kind of the region of time where all the older drivers were retiring. You had the young guys step in. There were some growing pains with the younger drivers, and the older drivers were kind of reaching the end of their peak, so to say. So it was kind of a struggle from, let's say, 2017 to 2019. We only saw a couple years from this team a year. By this team, I mean all of Hendrick Motorsports, not just the 48 specifically. But it's been a big turnaround. As I said, before 2016 or 2017, it was Hendrick Motorsports. They won a lot of races, a lot of championships. They made championship wars, all that stuff. 2017 to 2019, they only won like 3 or 4 races a year. And then after that, that's when it all started. Elliott won his championship in 2020. Larson won the championship in 21. All 4 drivers have had multiple win seasons. So it's a very successful lineup for now. We'll see how they do in the future, but I think this is a good move on both parts. Obviously, Bowman gets to stay with a top-tier team, winning equipment, gets to prove his worth for a little bit more. And also, I genuinely hate it for him. Every year there's a contract negotiation with the big driver. They're like, oh, he's going to Hendrick and replacing Bowman. He's not. I don't know why people always think that. They thought that with Kyle Busch. They thought it with Brad Keselowski. It was never happening. And, so don't do that again. Shut up with those rumors. Anyways, good for Hendrick as well. They get a solid driver they know can win races, and they get some big sponsorship backing. So good for them. On to Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez has been with Trackhouse. This year will be his 3rd year with Trackhouse. He was their first driver when the team started in 2021. Missed the playoffs that first year, but in 2022, it was a big year, not just for Suarez, but Trackhouse as a whole. Suarez got his first career win at Sonoma, made the playoffs, made it into the round of 12. A very successful year for Suarez. That was the first time he was ever in the playoffs. Obviously, the first career win is a big deal, but he showed a lot of speed, not just at road courses, but, the Coca-Cola 600. That's one I look back on and thought he had a lot of speed and a chance to win that race if he didn't get caught up in a late race crash. So yeah, Suarez has improved tremendously. He's had a up and down career. The Xfinity Championship, getting rushed up to Cup because Carl Edwards suddenly decides to quit or retire. I think the proper word's retire. But then, of course, after that, it doesn't work out at Joe Gibbs Racing. He goes to Stewart-Haas Racing for a year. That doesn't work out. And then he goes to Gaunt Brothers, and then Trackhouse picks him up. And boy, has that worked out, obviously, as I said, with all the success, but also the team success. Obviously, Ross Chastain with a couple of wins, but also making the championship four. So a lot of potential in this new team, or newer team. And Daniel Suarez seems to be in the right place at the right time. And it has paid off because he's getting not just a 1-year extension. He's getting a multi-year extension. Trackhouse does not specify what year this is through. It just says a multi-year extension. But it seems like everyone is happy to have Daniel Suarez there. Daniel Suarez is happy to be there. And there's a lot of potential here. Suarez, he's 31. He's still got a lot of career left. He's a solid driver. Is he a championship tier driver yet? That's TBD, yes. But he has had those moments of excellence. As I said, he is a NASCAR champion. He's won the Xfinity Series championship. He is a NASCAR Cup Series winner, and he won at Sonoma, a road course, a difficult track. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does this year, to see if he can win a couple of races or maybe more, to see if Trackhouse can continue the success that they had last year in terms of leading laps, winning, making deep playoff runs. And we'll see. It could, obviously, if they can continue that, then Daniel Suarez has a great opportunity to go out there and make some more history. He's already made history being the first Mexican-born driver to win a race in the Cup Series. So, yeah, this is really good. I think it's also really good for him because, there's been a lot of uncertainty in his career. He's been in contract years a lot, and it hasn't worked out. Obviously, Stewart-Haas Racing, he was only there a year. So that was a lot of pressure on him. It was a contract year for him this year, but now there's not really pressure on him. He's got that contract signed, so he can go out and he can focus 100% on racing, 100% on his race car, his race team. He doesn't have to worry about the outside distractions. He doesn't have to worry about getting questions every week. Oh, when are you signing a contract extension? Or, oh, are you going to go somewhere else? He's locked in for the long haul. So I think that's a win-win for Trackhouse and Daniel Suarez as well. Suarez gets to stay with a competitive team. He doesn't have to worry about the distractions and the questions about his contract. And Trackhouse gets to keep a solid driver who has proven he can be successful and is looking to become more successful as well. So that's all the news I've got. That was from like 8 o'clock this morning when these things got released. So contract extensions, thank you for announcing them really early. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Tonight is the Daytona 500 qualifying. I'll probably do a video after that. Then tomorrow night we got the duels. I'll definitely do a video after that. And yeah, then we'll do a Daytona 500 preview, and then we'll talk about the Daytona 500 just a few days away. So I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts on both these drivers, both of their contract extensions, and I'll see you guys tonight for the Daytona 500 qualifying.